introduction to each of you. Instead, I'm just going to do an overview, and then I'll hand it over to you to share all of the experiences with the members of Junior League of Toronto. So Janine Rodriguez is the project coordinator for Gifts of Light program at CAMH, and she has been a strong link for Tanya Chopra, who unfortunately is in Qatar right now. Well, not unfortunately, but that's where she is, and so she can't join our meeting tonight. And so Janine and Tanya have been really doing a wonderful job making sure that Junior League of Toronto continues to support CAMH. And what's really wonderful is one of our roles is we support the Early Psychosis Unit at CAMH. And just a little bit of background is the evenings are very difficult for clients that are in the EPU. And so Junior League of Toronto has stepped in over the years to try and provide experiences and activities, sort of diversional activities for them. During COVID, it's been very challenging, obviously, and we are just thrilled that we were able to continue to do really great work with the help of people like Mobile Arts Programming, and that's John and Wes, who are the co-founders and who have really given the clients in the EPU a wonderful experience. And it's been wonderful to work with all three of you. And I'm saying that on behalf of Tanya and the whole CAMH committee and all of their Junior League of Toronto. So thank you very, very much. I'm going to hand it over to you, to all three of you, to share your experiences. I think you just need to be made presenter, Maggie, if that's okay. And Janine, are you going first?
Sure, I can. Yep.
Okay, good.
So let me just, if you have a presentation to share.
Yeah, I've got some slides I can pull up.
Okay, let me make you a co-host and then you should be able to share your screen.
Perfect. Okay, can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so thank you so much for that very warm introduction, and I'm very excited to be here with everyone tonight in a very different capacity than what I'm used to and everyone else is used to, I'm sure as well. I'm thinking back to the last time I joined one of your meetings, which was a few years ago now, when I was still a recreation therapist on the Early Psychosis Unit. So it's exciting to be back and in a different role now. And I'm excited to share with everyone a little bit about Gifts of Light and the programming aspect and the partnership that we have with Junior League and the impact that that has had for CAMH patients and staff across the campus. So this is Gifts of Light. This is our world now. We are virtual and in person again, which is fantastic. You heard a little bit about me. I did start out as a recreation therapist at CAMH, and I did work on the Early Psychosis Unit for a couple of years and was the rec therapist there when the Junior League started offering programs with the unit, including the volunteer collaboration and bringing on all the wonderful evening stacks and the great vendors from the community as well. So my current role now is the project coordinator with Gifts of Light. So my primary role is to oversee our partnerships with our community vendors and make sure that we are matching our units and programs at CAMH with amazing partnerships and vendors like yourselves to provide additional programming to what is already being provided on site by the clinicians. So Gifts of Light, I don't know how much everyone knows about CAMH and Gifts of Light in general, but I thought I would focus on Gifts of Light tonight. We are a donation funded program and volunteer supported. You know, our main focus really is filling the gap for what's missing at the hospital. So we focus on the client specifically. All of our funding is directed towards the client. And we have three main pillars. So we've got the store, the experiences, and the programming. And our store, oh, do I have to admit this person to the, sorry, someone was trying to join, so I just said yes. I hope that's okay.
Sure. Sorry, I didn't see that. I will keep that open.
It's okay. So for the Gifts of Light store, it's really about, providing the essential items for our CAMH clients. And so oftentimes we have clients coming through the emergency department, with just their shoes and clothing that they're wearing, sometimes not even shoes. And so it's really important that we provide, the basic necessities. So brand new clothing, hygiene items. We do carry some recreation and leisure items as well. Anything from sweats to, shoes, sandals, shower items. We have at one point had weighted blankets in our store. It's really dependent on our donations that we receive and the funding that we receive, so we can purchase what's needed for the patients based on the clinician requests as well. So it's available to CAMH staff to access. We are back in person finally. Every Tuesday, staff can come down and check out the store, see for themselves, pick out items specifically that they think their clients would like and will need, and then take that back to their client. Or there's also the online ordering. My colleague Farheen oversees the store, and she provides that direct contact for clinicians to inquire if the store has the items that they're looking for. So that's a huge component, and probably the most impacted in the sense of, in-person versus virtual. It's really hard to run a store virtually. So it's been really great to have people back in person, able to see the items that we have there. And then we have the Gifts of Light experiences, and this is overseen by my colleague, Maddie. She has been super creative over the last 18 months, providing both, these really unique virtual experiences, which Junior League was part of with the virtual magic show. And then also with, in person, and really, getting creative around how we can have multiple clients or patients in a space, keeping everyone's little guidelines. And so we've seen it all. So we've had outdoor movie presentations. We've had the Caravana event, which was really impactful. And then we've had food trucks coming on site, offering different opportunities for clients to engage in that. Maddie also provides a monthly outing for everyone, or not for everyone, but for units to apply for if they're interested. It's a really great opportunity to, just to provide these additional experiences for patients, particularly patients that are staying longer stay. It's been a really great opportunity to get them off the unit, especially during the pandemic where, the rules have changed a lot for passes and where patients can go, just in an effort to keep everyone safe and, really ensure that the recovery is still the focus. And so right now we are in full holiday mode already. And so Madeline's working really hard to get, some really great experiences back up, as we still cannot fully do what we would normally do pre-pandemic. So it's been really interesting to see what she's come up with that so far too. And then we have the programming. So this is my specialty, I guess. So we really are focusing on trying to enhance, the experience again of the patient, but also, provide that support for the staff, ensuring that you've got, opportunities for clients to engage in unique opportunities that wouldn't otherwise happen on the unit. So vendors that we bring in are very specialized in their art and what they do. We have everything from songwriting and recording, such as mobile arts programming, to visual arts with Workman Arts, Vibe Arts. We do creative writing programs, outdoor adventure programs. We've got the horse riding stables at Top Rail Stables. We've got drum programs happening. Our Smile Serenades are back on site doing an outdoor program. We've been very fortunate in the since last November, the therapeutic neighborhood, which is part of the new building, opened. And in that space, there's a beautiful courtyard that is a secure space for patients to come into. And so it's been really great to provide outdoor programming there because they do have a covered area, as you can see in this picture. And they also have an opportunity for, you know, patients that maybe don't have community passes to still come down and enjoy programming in person, as it's a bit more difficult to bring vendors directly onto the unit all the time. So this has been a really great opportunity to, you know, just further enhance what's already happening at CAMH and bring in those expertise with our partnerships and vendors from the community. And in addition to that, you know, one of the big feedbacks, or one of the main feedback from a lot of patients and staff, has been around the impact of community and patients being able to connect with someone outside of the hospital. You know, just the difficulty of getting patients off the units right now with COVID and the new protocols and procedures that are in place. It's just a chance for the patients to see a different face, connect with someone new, and that's not their clinician. So that's been really positive. Then we've got our partnership with the Junior League. And this has been truly a unique experience the last 18 months. And I have to give Tanya so much credit for her enthusiasm and dedication to make this happen. She has, you know, stuck it through this whole time. We were in constant conversation right from when the pandemic started to see how we could get Junior League back in action, providing and supporting programming for the Early Psychosis Unit. One of the big things right now is that they've moved. So a lot of you, I don't know of a lot, but some of you may remember that they used to be located at College Street. And so now with the new buildings at Queen Street, we have EPU is now located there, and it's called CCC5. So the new building stands for Crisis and Critical Care. And each floor is just labeled CC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So they are on the 5th floor of the Crisis and Critical Care building. The Junior League has been amazing in, you know, despite all the restrictions and all the changes, you know, ensuring that there's still a weekly snack provided. That's a huge hit for patients. Food, I mean, I remember when I was on the Early Psychosis Unit too, there would be patients that wouldn't necessarily participate in the programming part, but as soon as they heard that there was a snack, they would come out and join the conversation and, you know, be part of the group. And even if it was just for a few minutes, they would still make an effort to come out and at least say hi. So the snack goes a long way and is a really important aspect of the programming. And despite, you know, everything having to be individually packaged and more restrictions around allergies and everything, the Junior League group has just been great to make sure that that happens still. So at the very beginning of the pandemic, Junior League, you know, stepped in right away and said, where can we help? And one of the requests from the Early Psychosis Unit, I'm still going to call it EPU because that's what it always is to me, but one of the early requests was more tablets. Patients weren't able to access, you know, see their families or like have any internet access, or didn't have their own devices, cell phones or anything. So they asked if we could get some more tablets, and the Junior League said, yep, no problem. You funded 5 tablets for CCC5, and that was very well received. And I know they get used often, so that's great. In addition to that, you've provided additional funds for program supplies. So things like board games, art supplies, yoga mats, you name it. Junior League has been there to provide all of it for the unit, and they've gone to great use for the patients on those units. The magic show was a huge hit, and thanks to the Junior League for supporting that, and also providing snacks for over 270 patients that day, which was really great and really impactful. And then of course the handwritten cards for the big move when patients moved from College Street to Queen Street, as well as Tower 2 into the new buildings. Every patient was welcomed into their room with a handwritten card from the Junior League, and that was really important and meaningful as well. So we really thank you for stepping up and taking the opportunity to help us where otherwise that would not have happened. You know, throughout the year, Junior League is always checking in and, you know, seeing where support can be offered. And I know Tanya's already mentioned or let me know that, you know, you're on standby ready to support for anything around the holiday season or, you know, into the new year as well. So that's been very appreciative and welcomed. As we all know, the last 18 months have been quite challenging and a very big change of pace. You know, Gifts of Light really did not ever stop, which is great. Speaks a lot to the program in the sense of, you know, the need for the resources across the hospital. And we did embrace the virtual world, and we're so excited to now be slowly moving back into an in-person experience, which has really, really just changed the dynamic across the board and helped, you know, more patients experience these great programs and be engaged with community members. The new location is a big change. It's really great having most programs on site now, where, you know, we're not traveling back and forth, with the exception of our downtown central and downtown east outpatient clinics. Those are still located at or just moved to College Street. And then we had a huge donation of tablets this past year, so that every CAMH inpatient bed has been funded with access to a tablet. So this has allowed for additional virtual programming. You know, patients can connect with their family, loved ones, email, all kinds of different things. Despite some tech challenges, I think overall it has been a very welcomed and appreciated, you know, change for the units. And then I just have to, again, say, you know, the Junior League, you've helped patients throughout this pandemic through many, many ways. It's hard to express and capture every single thing, but, you know, again, there was never hesitancy to continue last fall when we were talking about how to still offer programming, and it was a full virtual season, which, you know, was very well received. The volunteers were able to still be on those calls and help support, and, you know, still had the stacks dropped off for the unit as well. And so, you know, with this support, patients are accessing programming in the evenings, which you heard does not always happen, is not common. It's quite difficult to provide programming. Staffing is much, shorter. There's less staff on at night. There's less allied staff. So recreation therapists typically work until 4 or 5, and then they go home, and then they're there Monday to Friday. So it's a great way to supplement what's already happening on the units, but just add that additional programming. And yeah, your continued support with the CAMH wide programming, as well as, you know, those additional items like writing cards. And I think we have you on the list for some holiday cards this year as well, which we're really excited to get you involved in that too. So that's pretty much, oh, and then just some feedback for everyone to see and, you know, hear from what the clinicians are saying. And I think this was really cool about the magic show. For 10 patients to participate from a unit, that's really good. We often see about four to 6 per unit. So this was a really well-received event, and, you know, it was very interactive, lots of fun. The clients had a great time. First session was last week for this season, and sounds like it went amazing as well. Clients were really engaged, really enjoyed it. I like how Abby says, as I knew they would. We never have a doubt when John and Wes are coming on the unit to provide programming. It's always really well received and really good feedback. So and then I was just gonna do a little plug for our holiday campaign. So holidays are coming up, and, you know, it looks a little different than it normally does, but again, we're going to be having the tree lit, and it's going to be in the TD Commons Park, the new park just beside off Workman Way between Shaw and Queen there. So keep an eye out if you're in the area. You'll see a big purple tree up in November. And then the card writing initiative that we're going to welcome the Junior League's help with as well. And, you know, we've got different activities happening throughout that Madeline's working on right now. And this is just a picture from her putting these hot chocolate kits together last year for different units to enjoy throughout the season. So with that being said, I don't know if there's any questions, or if you do ever have an inquiry, please feel free to reach out. This is my contact information. I know my last name doesn't match. I recently got married, so I'm still in the process of changing it, and it takes a long time to do that apparently. So I'm still at janine.bakelar@camh.ca.
Thank you very much, Janine. Wes and John, would you like to go ahead? We'd love to hear from you too.
Yes, absolutely.
If you can give me the ability to share my screen.
Yeah, I can do that. Sorry.
Perfect.
There you go.
Cool.
Nice. And we've got some audio too. So hopefully, hopefully that'll play.
Hopefully it comes through. Thank you everyone for having us here. And also thank you for that very swift nod there, Janine. Appreciate it. That was a great segue. My name is John, and then Wes is with me as well. I'm going to start things off, and then we'll switch it over to Wes. So for those of you who don't know, we often go by MAP, but that stands for Mobile Arts Programming. So in a few words, we're basically a music studio on wheels. So we help folks go through the process, learn the ins and outs of writing and recording their own songs. That's going to be different for everyone. Essentially what that paragraph says, I always do this, I never actually read it, I just talk about it. Within the comfort of your own community setting, Wes and I will run these music workshops and explore these various aspects of what it means to create a song. So in the situation like with EPU or CCC5, we're also getting used to that as a new term.
We're used to EPU as well, yes.
We're used to EPU, so pardon us if we use that acronym. But anyway, so case in point with that, with those folks there is we show up, we bring all kinds of gear, we bring different iPads and headphones, and we are there to facilitate song creation. So that also for some folks might mean recording vocals to an original song. Sometimes folks want to do some vocals over top of a cover song. And honestly, other times, sometimes people just like to hang out and talk about music, or, push a couple things on the iPad and then call it a day. We accept it all. So we're just there to facilitate that whole process. Just some quick numbers about us. So since 2019, we work with over 2,000 participants, and that has resulted in over 1,000 songs completed. And we've developed 10 very strong agency partnerships. We're pleased to say JLT is one of them, and also Gifts of Light. So again, thank you both. Here's our headshots. So Wes and I tend to, do you want to admit Kelsey, Wes?
I admitted her.
You got it? Okay, great. So the joke with Wes and I is, especially in the pandemic when we couldn't access a barber, these headshots actually act as a bit of a reference point. So what our haircut should normally look like. So we're doing pretty good, actually. As you can tell, Wes just got his haircut. I could use a little bit of work. I'm okay on the sides. Anyway, but there's us. And then just to do an overview of our program goals. So we really like to utilize music as a form of self-expression and an alternate form of expression, right? So as Janine alluded to before, there's a variety of different art programs that Gifts of Light so amazingly provides for these folks. So we're very happy to utilize music as the medium. And also there's a lot of tangible skills that are learned, even just navigating through technology by using the iPads and things like that. So that's the notion of the vocational skills. And, someone really feels good when they've created something themselves, and especially when it's in the context of art and creation and self-expression. And then subsequently, what we find is it just also bodes very well for establishing or maintaining or further developing relationships, either with the folks amongst themselves, with their staff that are there, and then fortunately for Wes and I, that includes us as well. We're able to connect with these folks, again, using this medium of music, and it has some really powerful outcomes. So, and so far we did this virtually for a little bit, and then now just last week was our first time in person. So we're going to keep that train rolling. This is a video which, again, not only acts as a reference for what our hair should look like, but also is a great promotional video. It's about a minute long, and it gives a nice visual to sort of what Wes and I do. The space looks different, but ultimately this is kind of what we aim to do.
Mobile Arts Programming, or MAP for short, brings the recording experience to you. On a weekly basis, participants are introduced to various aspects of music creation with the goal of creating an original song. With an emphasis on song deconstruction, lyrical creation, and learning the fundamentals of audio engineering, participants are able to explore GarageBand software on the iPads provided. Those creative skills are fostered and implemented through the writing and recording sessions and allows for a healthy expression of ideas and emotions through the creation process. Those original ideas are captured using industry-standard recording equipment and allow for a tangible sense of accomplishment with the completed song recording. Bring MAP into your space today.
All right. So as John was saying, that hopefully gives a bit of a visual to what we do. Oftentimes, it's hard to describe to people exactly what it is we do when we go into spaces and write and record music with people. Like, what does that look like? It's interesting. John and I met in George Brown College. We're both child and youth workers. And actually, this is where sort of this idea spawned from. And that's sort of a big piece of what it is that we do when we go into these spaces in conjunction with the music programming. So just to give everybody a little bit more insight as to what your support has actually gone to. So throughout a couple of virtual sessions, and last week, actually, we just went back in person, which was amazing. We've worked with 50 different participants on, I guess it's CCC5, and we've completed 31 songs, which has been really cool. And we're there for an hour a week, which isn't a lot of time, but it's amazing sort of how creative people are in those spaces. And John and I are always blown away with what participants are willing to share and do and create. And it's always unbelievably enlightening for us as well, just as the facilitators, to kind of see and witness the creative material that sort of comes out of these programs. So we're gonna share some songs. So we're not going to play the whole track, but we'll play little bits from each one, just to give everybody a sense of what it is that is the tangible outcome for this. As John alluded to at the beginning and went through sort of those program outcomes, there are lots of social outcomes that are important with what it is that we do, but there's also some really cool creative and tangible outcomes in terms of music that's created by the participants with our support. So this first track is a song that we did virtually with a group on CCC5, which was an interesting experience for us. And I'm sure, I think I recognize some of the volunteers actually from JLT who supported in the program with us, which was super awesome. And we were really grateful for that. So yeah, we'll play a couple of these songs and talk a bit about them. So that was a track that was actually like super awesome and created in a completely virtual program. And I'm sure most of you are like, well, how is that possible? So essentially what it was we used a music recording and editing software that works like a Google document, you know, so you can be in the comfort of wherever you're at, and John and I can be wherever we're at, and we're able to collaborate and sort of work together and record into the same session, collaborate on ideas. We get, so those songs were more group songs. So everybody that was on CCC5 that was wanted to come and participate in the program would come out, and we'd kind of as a group build a track together, which was pretty cool and pretty unique, you know. Just in the creative process itself, like it's obviously it can be a very vulnerable process. So it was awesome that everybody was into the idea of collaborating and kind of working together to build a track, because that is what we were restrained to because of pandemic restrictions. Now that we've been going back in person, John mentioned that we're able to hook everybody up with their own essentially workstation. So everybody gets their own tablet, their own set of headphones. We bring in some other musical gear as well, and folks are able to create their own track, obviously with our help as well. And so this is I'll play a little bit of this one as well. And this was actually one we did last week with a client, and it was really, really awesome. And just the response they got from the rest of the clients was really cool. And as Janine mentioned, like the snack time is a big aspect of all of these programs, and the patients love it. And so when, you know, we were just kind of playing songs at the end, all like a ton of patients came out just for snack time and were able to hear some of these songs, and it was a pretty special moment. So we'll play a bit of this one as well. There it is. I was mainly waiting until the beat dropped there, but hopefully that just gives everybody a little bit of a taste of what it is that actually transpires in these sessions that we have with the patients. You know, and obviously this is just sort of the creative outcome of it. There's so much more that transpires in the group that we would love to kind of share all of the parts of that, but this is kind of what we're limited to. So we have had lots of feedback, both verbally and written from clients and from clinicians as well that we've partnered with. I'm not going to go through all of these, but just to give everybody a little bit of a sense of you know, how involved the patients are in these programs. They really respond well to it. It's very interactive. They get to, you know, in a space where everybody knows essentially everything about them. John and I get to come in and have very human relationships with these people and just kind of have fun and make some music. And it's pretty awesome. And we're just super grateful to be in the space that we're at. And it's obviously because of the support of Gifts of Light and the support of JLT as well. And we're super, super grateful to everybody on this call and all of the time and energy that inevitably all of you put in. This is kind of some of the fruition of your hard work. So it's amazing, and we're very grateful.
Yes, thank you to everyone. We do really appreciate the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. This was so informative. I think that all of us at Junior League know that the CAMH program is great. We know that there is great success, but if you're not one of the volunteers from the Junior League of Toronto that actually experience it, it's really hard to describe it to people. So thank you so much, Janine, Wes, and John, for sharing everything that you did with us tonight. I think it really affirms that together we're doing great work, and we really are so pleased to be part of it and to be contributing to the experiences and lives of the clients. So thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. And thanks for your time.
Mhm.